With chapters spanning the globe, this fearsome biker gang has caught the watchful eye of law enforcement agencies due to their nefarious deeds. From drug peddling and brutality to heinous acts of torture and murder, the Angels have left a trail of destruction in their wake. In this video, we will look at 5 cases involving members of the Hells Angels motorcycle club who have been convicted of serious crimes and sentenced to lengthy prison terms. The first case involves Stephen Sanders, the former leader of the San Diego chapter of the Hells Angels motorcycle club. Sanders was sentenced to more than 2 decades in prison for his involvement in multiple crimes. He admitted to kidnapping 2 people for the benefit of a criminal street gang and was convicted of robbery and attack in 2012. Sanders was also convicted of solicitation to commit slaying in 2012 and pleaded guilty to charges of attack with a fatal weapon in April. In June, he pleaded guilty to felony, kidnapping, and committing crimes for the benefit of a criminal street gang. Despite an admission on the record, Sanders maintains that he never admitted the Hells Angels were a criminal street gang. His attorney also tried to withdraw his guilty plea, claiming there was new witness testimony, but the motion was denied. The second case involves Jay Witt, a member of the Hells Angels motorcycle gang who was convicted of manslaughter in the slaying of fellow member William Furlong. Furlong was found lifeless at a Nebraska Hells Angels clubhouse on July 14, 2013, and authorities said he died from a single gunshot wound. Surveillance video outside the clubhouse showed a man believed to be Witt and his girlfriend entering the clubhouse at 2:15 a.m. Furlong showed up just before 5 a.m., and the video showed the man believed to be Witt and the woman leaving around 9:30 a.m. with a plastic bag. Prosecutors said Furlong and Witt had been fighting before Witt shot Furlong. Authorities allege Witt then thrashed the clubhouse to make it appear as though a rival gang was responsible. In August, Witt pleaded guilty to these charges against him, and prosecutors dropped the slaying charge. The charge was changed to manslaughter, and Witt was sentenced to 30 to 40 years behind bars. The third case involves Adam Lee Hall, a ranking member of the local Hells Angels chapter who was convicted of torturing and killing 3 Pittsfield men during Hurricane Irene in 2011. Hall, along with his 2 accomplices David Shalou and Caius Veiovis, dismembered the men's bodies and buried them in Beckett. A former girlfriend of Hall testified that he had 3 guns in a dog food bag the night of the killings. The trial was moved to Springfield from Berkshire County because of the publicity surrounding the case. In 2014, Hall, Shalou, and Veiovis were all convicted of first-degree charges. Hall had been serving 5 consecutive life sentences, but the Supreme Judicial Court upheld his 3 first-degree convictions and reduced his sentence to 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. The fourth case involves Anthony Millen, a former member of the Hells Angels motorcycle gang who was sentenced to life in prison for the slaying of a Hells Angels leader in San Francisco. Millen was convicted of murder, racketeering, and conspiracy to commit murder in the slaying of Mark Papa Guardado, the president of the San Francisco chapter of the Hells Angels. The fifth case involves Maurice "Mom" Boucher, a former leader of the Montreal chapter of the Hells Angels, who was convicted of ordering the killings of 2 prison guards and the attempted murder of another. Boucher was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 25 years. The jury found Boucher guilty of all charges, including first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and attempted murder. The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club has a long history of criminal activity, and these cases highlight the seriousness of their crimes. The sentences handed down to these members show that law enforcement agencies will not tolerate criminal behavior from motorcycle gangs or any other criminal organizations. While some members of the Hells Angels continue to engage in criminal activities, law enforcement agencies are determined to bring them to justice and protect communities from their illegal activities.